So we've talked before about how it's important to have a trust to avoid going into probate.
Right.
And I think a lot of people know probate's just bad and expensive and it's bad, but they don't really understand what probate is. So maybe you can explain a little bit.
Sure. Probate is the process by when someone passes away, if they own an asset that it's titled in their own individual name. It's basically the court system by which your assets go through the court to make sure they get distributed to the right person. So when you require probate, it's typically the person did not have a beneficiary designation on the asset or did not have a beneficiary deed on the house, and your will would be admitted to probate if there is a will. Okay, so if there's a will, it would be presented to the judge. The judge would look at it, make sure it's validly executed, and the judge's job is to make sure the assets get distributed to whoever the will says. But it's an expensive process. It's typically $10,000 and up, and it typically takes 6 months to a year, sometimes 2 years or more, just depending on the situation. So it is an administrative, can be nightmare, not always, but it's an administrative issue you can completely avoid by doing a trust, and we've talked about that before as well.
Right. Well, we're currently working with and have worked with in the past many clients who have dealt with the probate process, and I always say to everybody, you may think going to a lawyer and getting all of your documents in alignment prior to something happening to you is expensive or not necessary, and a lot of people think, well, I have a will, but the will is just going to be something for the judge to look at through the court process, and it's going to, like you said, belabor it and be costly. The best gift you can give is getting your affairs in order and proper documentation with the trust or the beneficiary deed to avoid all of that. We've had clients who their parents passed away. Now the mortgage isn't being paid. They can't afford to pay the mortgage. The house goes into foreclosure. We've had it happen with a co-client where it just got out of probate in time for us to sell it. We had 3 weeks to get it sold, and we did, and he was able to get money from that. But sometimes probate takes longer, and now the asset has foreclosed and you've lost it. We've had other people, currently right now where they're spending thousands upon thousands of dollars for an out-of-state relative that passed away, trying to figure everything out because they thought they had done everything right by doing a will, but now all of the assets are still kind of in a mess, just to be simple about it. So the best gift you can do is be prepared for your loved ones or whoever is going to be inheriting from you to avoid.
I totally agree. That's absolutely right. We tell our clients the same exact thing.
And I would say too, it's also important, like I have a son who's now 21 almost, and I changed all of my directives when he turned 18. It's important, once your children change over to adulthood, you want to make modifications to your instructions as well.
Sure. Me personally, I've got two sons that are now in their early 20s. My family trust, it basically designates a family member to be the successor trustee to manage the money until our kids turn 25. But they're both mature now, and our oldest is already working, and we're in the process, or will be soon, updating our trust to actually name them to be the trustees instead of naming someone else. So, yeah, that's absolutely right.
So it's also an evolving document that you can make 100%.
Updates to. That's exactly right.
Yeah. So again, the best gift is to avoid that mess for them after they're already dealing with losing you and so forth. That's already stressful enough, but then to deal with the financial mess that could follow.
That's exactly right.
All right. Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.